Every action has a reaction. Now, you'd probably find this in, science class, but it happens in everything, right? Everything you do, what you say, what you do, what you even think, has a reaction to the outside world or the world outside of your mind. I'm lucky enough to learn this at a very young age, and I understand that the actions that I do have impact on everyone around me, not just the immediate people, but the people that they know and so on and so forth, right? If I was in school and I would have a fight, okay, it may affect me because I'm getting in trouble, but then it affects the person that I fought with. They may be hurt, they're probably getting in trouble as well. Then it affects maybe their mum or dad being angry or upset with their kid that's got in a fight. And then it affects the teacher that's giving us the punishment. It affects, it could be small, but it makes a ripple effect in the world, basically. It runs the same way, though, if, you hold a door open for someone, or you just tell someone the hair looks nice, or something like that. It has that ripple effect, because they go wherever they're going in a happier mood, and then they spread a little bit of happiness, and it makes that ripple effect everywhere. There's a book I've talked about a few days ago called Man's Search for Meaning. Long story short, he's in the Holocaust, he's wrote a book about it, and he basically goes, it wasn't that bad, right? Now, I've tried to apply this to my life, as long as you can see a reason to live, and you can find reasons, you can always find reasons, life is not that bad. And obviously it's easier said than done, I can understand that, but you can like kind of hoodwink your own mind to being like, you know what, life's not that bad. And when you start to put positivity out, you'll realize that these ripples somehow make it back to you. I know it sounds a bit silly, like karma, right? Oh, you do good. No, it's not really about that. I think it's just like in the environment that you're in, if you put out positive things and happy things and whatnot, they tend to just circle back real quick. It doesn't take so long, especially if it's in with your own vicinity. Anyway, I'll stop rambling on about that. I'm going to talk about bad actions or things that you are definitely a mistake, right? Things you do and you're like, oh, damn it, why did I do that? These are really hard to get over. And I promise you this, 9 times out of 10, any bad action you do, any mistake you do, you will probably be your own worst critic, right? You will be harder on yourself than anyone else, right, in your head. Now, you may think that that's not true, but I can guarantee you, again, 9 times out of 10, you'll be your own worst critic, right? You will put yourself down and tell yourself that you're stupid and you shouldn't have done that, and you're a horrible person for doing such things. As J.K. Rowling said, we all have good and bad in us, but it's what we choose to act on that really makes a difference, right? So if you do something bad and you carry on and you know what you're doing is bad and you carry on and you carry on and you carry on and you're not changing, then yeah, you should probably be a little bit hard on yourself. But if you can acknowledge that the bad thing you did is bad and you shouldn't do it again, and you're really trying your absolute hardest to be a better person, then you can't really fault yourself too much. Everyone makes mistakes, and forgiving yourself is one of the first steps to moving forward with your life. Now, the first step to forgiving yourself, and again, I ain't no professional, this is just my advice, is that you gotta understand that a lot of people make mistakes for valid reasons, in the sense of like why they did what they did is understandable. At the end of the day, though, what they did was bad. So with the reason being understandable, and you go, okay, I can understand, but that doesn't excuse the action itself, right? You still have to take that on yourself. So what I would say is, firstly, identify why you did what you did, and then take the action and separate them, and understand that this is why you felt like you had to do this, or this was the best action, of course, and go, okay, I can empathise with that, understand that, and then take the action. And with the action, you have to then separate from these two things and go, do you know what, this is where I messed up, right? This is where I can do better. But this here, I can empathise and put a little bit of love into myself, With addiction, I know this is a bit of a segue. With addiction, the person will do the drug because they feel down. They'll feel down because they've done the drug, and because they feel down, they'll do the drug. So it's like a circle, right? But you can remove a part of that, and the part of that is feeling bad, right? Or hating yourself, should I say. You can remove that. And sometimes if you can remove that, it sort of kills the circle. You don't go around and round in the circle. And I think when you're feeling bad, for actions you've done, definitely take it in. But at one point, you got to stop hating yourself as much and let that circle end. A few days ago, I talked about parents being gods to their kids, and when your kid realizes that you're not, this all amazing person, things start to crumble. But the thing is, no one is, from the president to the Pope to whoever, no one's perfect, and everyone has done some bad things, and you're no exception, and that's okay. But you need to learn to forgive yourself. Again, I don't know why I made this, but I think it's very important for people to hear that the mistakes that you make, although bad, you can learn to accept them and accept yourself and why you did them, and try at one point when that circle goes round to try and remove that self-hatred. That's the goal, to allow yourself to be fully accepting of yourself.